Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to my NBA predictions for the 2019 playoffs. So quickly, I'm going to throw up my predictions, just a recap of the 2019 season, see how I did. So looking at it, I got two teams wrong in each conference, and the NHL only got one team wrong in each conference. The Orlando Magic and the Nets really showed out this year. I was really surprised how D'Angelo Russell, and I'm surprised, name a player on the Magic besides Aaron Gordon. Exactly. I don't know. I don't really know that much about basketball, so that's why it's going to be fun doing my basketball predictions to see whether I get better than the actual professionals. So let's just go. I mean, I'm going to probably pick all the favorites, but I might pick some upsets just for it to be fun. So Milwaukee Bucks, I think they're healthy, and the Detroit Pistons probably steal a game. I know they have Blake Griffin. Yeah, okay. Next, we have the Boston Celtics versus Indiana Pacers. I know Victor Oladipo is down, and I think just the Boston's best players, top three players, are better than anybody on Indiana. I say Boston Celtics. They struggle a little bit through this series, if it can click. And, but they win in 7. They win in 7 games, so it's going to be a close one. Toronto Raptors versus Orlando Magic. I saw somebody pick Orlando, but I think Toronto is just too good. You have Kawhi Leonard. You have Serge Ibaka, and I think they show out and they win in 4 games. They win in 4. It's a sweep, magical sweep. Philly 76ers, they got a little lazy on that one. And Brooklyn Nets, I say Brooklyn takes them to 6, but Philadelphia still wins. I just think the Nets are really good at three-point shooting, and that's going to hurt the 76ers a little bit, and that's why it's going to get 6 games. The Nets are going to steal a couple games. The thing about the Nets is they have a lot of passion. That city loves basketball, and I think the Nets catch Philadelphia sleeping for 1 or 2 games. So next you have Golden State versus the LA Clippers. Golden State is the most heavy favorites in the first round in forever, or is it Los Angeles Chargers is the biggest underdog? Whatever. Isn't that the same thing? Okay, so Golden State is going to that in 5. The Los Angeles Clippers find a way to eke out a game in LA, but I think it's the same thing with the 76ers and Nets. Houston Rockets versus Utah Jazz. Now, this is interesting. So Utah has a really good defense, and I think they could frustrate the Houston Rockets, especially if the Houston Rockets go cold. So call me crazy, but I'm going to pick the Utah Jazz. Both have the top records since the All-Star break. And I think it's Houston Rockets 1, Utah Jazz 2. And I think Houston Rockets go down in Game 7. They're looking forward too much to the Golden State series. They're thinking too much about it, and they don't even get through the first round. That's what I think is going to happen. Denver Nuggets versus San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich, you can never count him out, but I think Denver barely ekes it out. I just think that Game 7, they just have the home court advantage, so they win. Portland Trail Blazers versus Oklahoma City Thunder. Again, Oklahoma City, I don't know. It really does depend on what playoff Russell Westbrook do we get. Do we get the guy who tries to take over the game, or do we get the guy who starts passing it and gives it to Paul George? I think A.J. McCollum is going to play. I don't know why, but I've hated the Trailblazers. I haven't picked them in the playoffs the past couple years, and they've been a top 3-4 seed all those times. So I'm going to pick the Trailblazers to win in 7. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are a little bit too banged up going down the stretch fighting. And I think Portland is just healthy enough to eke it out. Next we have the second round, Milwaukee Bucks versus Celtics. Milwaukee Bucks are pretty healthy. So are the Celtics. And there's rumors about Kyrie Irving wanting to go to the Knicks with Kevin Durant. And the only scenario I see this happening is if Boston Celtics advance. So I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to win this series. Even though Boston Celtics are more rounded, I think the Bucks can spread the floor, and they win in 7. That home court advantage really helps them out. 7 games, Milwaukee Bucks. Toronto Raptors and Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers and Toronto have historically been bad in the playoffs, but Toronto had that thing over their head. It's we can't beat LeBron, so that's why I'm picking them. No, Philadelphia 76ers are the better team on paper. It's just, they remind me a lot of the Yankees. They make it to the playoffs, they're all good, and then all of a sudden it's just they have those 1-2 series where they just can't win. But I think the 76ers will choke in this series. Next we have Golden State Warriors versus Utah Jazz. Obviously that's Golden State. Then Denver Nuggets versus Trailblazers. I'm picking the Nuggets to eke it out in 7. and the Golden State Warriors to win in, I think Utah could frustrate the Warriors 3 points, so I'm going to say 6 games. I think, just 6 games. So both teams are pretty roughed up. Then you have the Milwaukee Bucks with Toronto Raptors. As much as I want to pick the Bucks, I'm really confused about this. Let's just see. This is off the whim. So, I don't know. I'm just going to pick Golden State first and think a little bit more about this. So, Golden State's going to win in 5 or 6. Let's say 6. Even though they've steamrolled in the playoffs for the past couple of years, you can't make it that easy for them. But whoever wins this series is going to lose some. It's like picking which one's going to lose to Golden State. I love Giannis. He won the MVP, but James Harden won the MVP last year, and he didn't make the finals. So that's an interesting kind of thing. Usually the MVP loses in the conference finals. So I'm going to pick the Toronto Raptors. The baby dinosaurs advance to the finals, and I think it's going to be in 6. I think Milwaukee at home, I don't think they would lose that final game at home. So, yeah, Toronto Raptors versus Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors win in 5. That was the easiest finals to pick. Champion Golden State Warriors. MVP is going to be Kevin Durant again. Let's see. It's not whether Golden State's going to win the NBA Finals. It's who's the MVP going to be. Let's just say it's Boogie Cousins, because he's really changing his game. He's trying to not being known as Boogie, being known as DeMarcus Cousins instead of Boogie Cousins. And I like that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If this logo would load. Looking at the time of the video, it's kind of short. So, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a treat. And I'm going to have a regular BnA sports talk. Yeah, why not? I have an extra clip, so I'll play it now. Let's just talk about Josh Rosen. So, the Redskins are out, apparently, on Josh Rosen. I mentioned that in my predicting all 32 NFL teams' quarterbacks for next year. Man, I'm shouting out so many videos. But, so Josh Rosen is not going to be the quarterback of the Redskins in 2020, 2021, 2022. At least that's what we think. I mean, there could be a smokescreen. I mean, that's what this season is all about. There's so many lies that go around. We're not going to trade Odell. This guy, X guy is our guy. Yeah, but once you get a deal that blows you away, it's just like, yeah, you don't really love him that much anymore because you realize that there are other priorities. So a team that I can see him going to is the Chargers. Now, the Chargers don't want to give up this year's first-round pick, I don't think, because they know there's so many good defensive players that could drop to them, and they think that, hey, we can win this year. Phil Rivers is getting old, but I think the Chargers will be willing to give up their first round next year, because you're willing to give up more in the future than you are now, because you see the potential of the players you can get now. You could see, okay, there's a cornerback. There's some decent cornerbacks that could drop to you. There's some decent safeties. There's some decent, some playmakers that will be able to drop to you. Maybe get some Phillip Rivers some more protection, because you can never have too much protection for an old quarterback. So I see Josh Rosen right now. If I had to guess, I mean, this is constantly changing. It's either going to be the Chargers or the Patriots. I think that the Giants have their eyes on a guy named Justin Herbert. I remember in December, everyone's like, Giants are drafting Herbert. And that was the guy they were looking for. They knew, I said this in my previous video, the Giants knew by passing up on quarterbacks last year that they were in for the next 2 years. The draft class in 2020 was a draft class that they're going to draft a quarterback. Now, with 12 picks, they might draft a quarterback. They might go for a Jarrett Stidham in the 4th round. I don't see them drafting a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round. Maybe with their 2nd, but I don't see them drafting one with their 3rd. I think it's either going to be their 17th or one of their later picks, where guys are just like, oh yeah, you're Kyle Lauletta. It's like, oh, this guy may work out. But eventually, you're going to have to get rid of Kyle Lauletta, a guy that you thought had so much promise. And then they have Alex Tanney too. So then again, you also don't want to have too many quarterbacks on your team at once, unless you really think that they're the guy. I mean, maybe try him out, but it'll be a wasted 4th round pick. I think we have so many more gaps to fill than just quarterback. So I think the Giants are really looking at Justin Herbert. They're going to go all out. Next year is the year where they're going to trade up to get Justin Herbert. Wherever their position is, they know Justin Herbert's their guy, and they're going to go up and get him. So if I had to guess where Josh Rosen is going, like I said, Patriots or Chargers. The reason why the Patriots might get Josh Rosen is that there's so many draft picks that they have this year. Usually, historically, you don't do that well with draft picks. But then again, the Patriots, Josh Rosen's in his 2nd year already. Tom Brady said he wants to play another 3 more years. So by the time that Josh Rosen comes in, Tom Brady's already gone, and plus they already have a decent backup in Brian Hoyer, who he could fill in for a game or two. But if Tom Brady goes down, they know their season's over. They'll just tank for next year and then get a good player. There are rumors that they're eyeing Trevor Lawrence. So honestly, I think all the Josh Rosen talk is kind of hooey. So the teams, I mean, there aren't that many teams. The Cardinals are trying to create so much value in Josh Rosen. We're not going to not give a first-round pick. I mentioned a couple of, I think, weeks ago now that I wouldn't be surprised if they keep Josh Rosen. But keeping Josh Rosen would be the dumbest mistake if they draft Kyler Murray. But honestly, there are rumors that Josh Rosen fits into their system pretty well. So if you're an Arizona Cardinals GM, you're thinking, okay, so if we don't get Josh Rosen, people are going to want this first overall pick. People are going to want the first overall pick. So I mean, I said the Titans should get Kyler Murray towards the beginning of the year because I think he's a pretty good fit with that, strong defense and then a run-heavy offense where you can have Kyler Murray surrounded with some weapons and you can be successful. But I wouldn't be surprised if a team like, the Bengals or the Miami Dolphins just go after their guy this year. Why wait for Tua next year when you already have your Tua of this year's draft now? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but honestly, my mock draft has Kyler Murray number 1. Every mock draft has pretty much the first 5 people, and yeah, I have the Giants taking Ed Oliver as for the defense because he can play anywhere. You need a guy that's versatile. You're missing a lot of players, so if you get just a playmaker on defense, get the defensive leader on this group, I'm all for it. But going back to Josh Rosen, I mean, the Chargers are looking like the front runners right now because Phillip Rivers, like I said, he's not playing that well. They have some backups on team, but there's been so many times where it's like you bring in your guy, you see your guy, you just take your shot and go. Josh Rosen has so many similar characteristics to Phillip Rivers. They have similar personalities. They're from, similar areas. California, kind of have that laissez-faire California style on the bats. I think that Josh Rosen is maturing as a person. Phillip Rivers is one of the most talkative people on the field, and I think Josh Rosen is similar to that. So Chargers are definitely in this, but they're going to have to give up their first round for next year because if you go to the Cardinals and say, we're going to give you a second next year, no. And plus, they have a second-round pick this year. That's not a good pick. It's late in the second round. The Chargers are not going to do it. So that brings the Chargers to a first-round pick next year. And hopefully you're coming off a Super Bowl victory, and then Phillip Rivers is riding off into the sunset, and you just bring Josh Rosen in. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Phillip Rivers' Hall of Fame career. He finishes last year strong. And yada, yada, yada. That's how it's going to end. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.